you know, full transparency, I had never voted before, ever. Um, and because, you know, I was one of those people who was like, my vote doesn't matter. And, you know, and I don't know, maybe it's because I was younger, maybe it's because I really thought that, or I don't know, but I just think that it's got to, you know, now this is a bit of a privilege to say it's got to a breaking point for me because obviously it's been past the breaking point for Black people, but I think that as a whole, you know, the young people need to get out and vote because we're the ones that never show up. You know what I mean? We never show up to vote, but you know, we're the future. So it's like, look, we got to go out there and vote, and then whatever happens, happens. But at least we did our part. You know, you got to do your
You know,
part.
you're very candid in saying that you just decided to vote. And I think there's a beautiful irony in the fact that you have your fans saying, because of you, I'm voting.
Right.
And there's something beautiful about that. But I want to know why now for you? Why in this moment is it important for you to vote? And what hit your spirit to say, yes, this is the time to do it?
Honestly, because the I think that George Floyd really uh, woke up a lot of people who, including myself, who I was vocal and outspoken about racism. I put it in my lyrics. I put it on T-shirts. I would talk about it in interviews. Like, you know, I was vocal about it. But that video in that moment, I think me along with a lot of other people just kind of was like, all right, like words are simply not enough anymore. We gotta do something, whether it's raising money, whether it's voting or all the above. Like it's we got to do something, you know. And I'm ashamed that it took that for me to be like I need to raise money and I need to vote. You know, it's a shame, and I don't know. It just I guess it snapped a bunch of people out of it. You know, and even if you were vocal and whatnot. It's just it's time to actually put your money where your mouth is. It's time to go vote. You know, it's time to just stop talking about it and be about it. You know, and it's been time for that, but like I said, you know, I'm ashamed that it took me this long to actually really be about it, but I'm here now.
So, Russ, we all know that this is going to be your first time voting. Tell me what that
Yeah.
experience is going to be like for you in terms of what you're excited about.
I think you know what it's gonna do for me. It's gonna let me know that I'm contributing to something bigger than myself and I'm actually putting my money where my mouth is and I'm being about it because you know for so long and I know I'm not alone with this but you know standing on the outside and just screaming about this and that and this should change and it's like all right but did you vote you know and so I'm you know I know it's going to feel good to know that I played a small role you know and that's the problem I think the mentality of like my vote doesn't matter needs to be changed to my vote, albeit small, does matter. It's a role I'm playing, and if I play my part and you play your part, and he and she plays their part, then we make a difference. But you know, it'll feel. I have a feeling it's gonna it's gonna feel very bigger than me. I mean, I think when you realize that giving uh, actually feels better than receiving, that's when you start wanting to do your part and contribute. So, voting is an easy way to give. You know.
Yeah. To whom much is given, much is required, and you have been given a huge platform, and we are so grateful for you, Russ. Philanthropist, artist, community activist, first time voter. We appreciate you for doing
Yes.
this, okay?
Thank you. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, la la.
So, cities like Atlanta and Chicago have been at the forefront of the discussions, especially now in this country when we're talking about COVID 19 and systemic racism, as well as police brutality and what we can do in this country. Again, we're continuing our conversation, letting you know that your voice is your vote and your vote is your voice. We can change where we are in this country. Currently, I'd like to welcome in Chicago Cubs right fielder Jason Hayward. I appreciate you. I brought in Atlanta and Chicago because I know you grew up in the metropolitan area of Atlanta, more specifically McDonough. Let's be technical, and and you have been very vocal throughout this entire time in terms of what our country's been experiencing. Let's look at the past month and a half, if you will. What has been the hardest thing for you to deal with?
Por favor, não me acertes.